Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about barter collabs or how you can use them to get PR packages for free from brands. So let's get started. In this video, we are going to cover four topics, and the first one is going to be what is a barter collab so that I can explain to you the concept of barter collabs. The second thing that we are going to cover is who is it for. The third thing we are going to cover is when you should be doing barter collabs. The fourth thing is going to be how to get yourself a barter collab, and the fifth thing is I'm going to sum up everything and I'm going to give you actionable steps that you can carry out to get yourself a barter collab in 7 So let's get started. So first we are going to talk about what are barter collabs. So barter collabs are when you collaborate with a brand or you work with a brand where the brands provide you with a certain product from their end and then you provide certain kind of content for them. Let me explain it to you with some examples. For example, I recently reached out to a handbag brand. So I like this particular handbag, and instead of buying it, I decided to approach the brand and I offered them content in exchange for the handbag. And they happily accepted, but the deal's not finalized, it's still going on. But anyway, what I mean to say is you can always approach a brand and you can ask them for them to send you a product in exchange for content. Now, every brand has different content criteria. Some brands like to post only pictures, some brands like to post carousels, some brands like to post reels, some brands like to post videos or stop motion videos or something like that. So, if the brand suits your vibe and if your vibe also suits the brand, then they will accept your collaboration request in exchange for a product. Let me share another example with you so that it gets clearer for you. For example, if you like a pasta and you want to work with a pasta brand, so you reach out to the pasta brand and you tell them that, hey, I make cooking videos, I'm a cooking video creator, and I can make this stop motion video for you in exchange for this particular pasta. And the brand will agree and they might send you one or two packets of pasta for free, and then you can create content for that in exchange for it. Okay, similarly for travel creators, you can stay in a hotel for free in exchange for content. So instead of money, you're using your content or the kind of videos you create to give them something in return. So we are not using any kind of money over here. You're not paying them with money, you're paying them with content from your end. Now, as a UGC creator in India, this concept is very well known. In fact, most of the brands will happily agree to send you product for free because they are getting content in exchange. Okay, so instead of sending PR packages to influencers, which usually cost them money because they're not getting anything in return, there usually influencers might be vague about it. Influencers might not even make a video about it because they get so many products. But if you, as a UGC creator, you approach a brand will usually say yes, because for sure they are going to get some content out of it, and for sure it's going to be a good quality content that they can post in their page and use it for ads or anything. So now that the concept of barter collaboration is clear, we are going to move on to the next part, which is who is it for. Now, who exactly should be doing barter collabs? I'm someone who will never encourage you to do barter collabs, but there are certain circumstances in which I will encourage you to do barter collabs. Number one, a lot of my students in my UGC creator course, I have noticed, doesn't really have that level of video quality which will get them paid brand deals. So instead of practicing on your own alone at home, you can start practicing using brands, and you can approach the brand and you can tell them that, hey, I'm not that pro in video creating videos. So if you can let me just practice with a brand, and you can help me revise, and then when the content is up to your taste, I can send it over to you. Brands usually prefer being honest, so if you can just be honest with them, tell them that you are not that you're just a beginner in creating videos, they will most probably say yes to you as well. You can reach out to smaller brands who don't expect that level of video quality, who expect some authentic feel good kind of cozy home vibe videos that you can make for them. So if you don't have experience in creating videos, and you're not that good at it, I mean, you should be self aware also. You should see the kind of videos that everyone is creating, right? So if you are aware that your videos are not of that quality, you can reach out to brands and tell them that you are willing to create content for them based on whatever products they're sending you. Okay, so this is one category. If you're not that good in creating videos, you can practice by doing barter collaborations. The second situation in which you should be doing barter collaborations is when you're not confident. Sometimes we just don't feel confident enough to reach out to brands and ask them for money, right? I mean, we have all been there. When you're just a beginner, you feel shy about asking brands for money. So in order to build your confidence, I will recommend you to do barter collaborations with other kinds of brands so that you get that confidence. So the next time you're approaching brands, you also have something to show in your portfolio, and you are by then confident to ask for your actual and correct pay. The third situation in which I will encourage you to do barter collaborations is when you don't have anything in your portfolio and you're feeling slightly underwhelmed, and you're like, oh, what if brands don't accept me? So instead of using just your products to make your video, you can instead practice approaching brands, talking to them, negotiating deals. So instead of just using your own products, you get some live practice and actually talking to brands, and this also helps again with the confidence. So these are the only three situations. I mean, there's one more. Okay, there's one more situation in which I will encourage you to do brand collaborations, like barter collaboration. So that situation is when you really like a product. So for example, if you manage to strike up a brand deal with Dyson and you really love that product, I mean, sure, go ahead with it because it's a costly product. For my first collaboration, I think I agreed for a very low pay rate for my videos because they gifted me an oven. And of course, an oven is a big purchase, and I mean, not that big purchase, but still a big enough purchase. And so I agreed to that, and I said yes for sure because an oven is something I really needed, and that oven was really good, and I'm still using it. It's something that you can use forever in your life, right? As long as you can. So I think it makes sense. Only for these kind of products where you really love the product and you want the product and you're okay with not being paid also for that, then you can go ahead with barter collaboration. So only these four categories matter. If you fall into these four categories, you can go ahead and do barter collaborations. Other than that, you deserve to be paid. And if you want to know how you can get paid doing UGC and also all kinds of templates and everything, you might want to check out my course, the UGC Creator Blueprint. I share all the tips and tricks in just a very condensed, value packed course. I just closed my beta launch, so all the feedback and improvements have already been done on the course, and you can check it out by clicking the link in the description, or you can click the link in my bio. And so now moving on, when you should be doing barter collaborations. As I said, following up from the last part of the video, when you can do barter collaboration is only and only when you hit either one of those categories, you can go ahead for doing barter collaborations. Other than that, please remember that your content is worth being paid for. Okay, so now let's move on to how to get you some barter deals. So first step is going to be understanding with who you want to do barter collaborations. Now, being a food creator myself, I would always collaborate with brands that are aligned with my niche. Now, if you don't have a niche, that is also okay. You can start experimenting with random brands. But the easiest brands to start with barter collaborations will always be food and skincare brands. These two categories are very, very popular, and everyone has some sort of a product up for that, and there are many small brands who need content for those products. So like premixes, pasta, um, snacks, and then for skincare you have lip gloss, lipstick. All the lip products are very easy to get into. Jewelry brands as well, if they are selling just earrings, trinkets, all of these brands are very easy to get into, and you can easily get a barter collaboration with this. Now once you have written down or made a note of all the brands that you want to approach, you will start approaching these brands. Now how to approach these brands? Easiest way is to approach them through their DMs. So you can either do two kinds of approaching. One is you can start by indirect approaching, where you post them in your stories, say, yeah, I love this product or something like that, and now you're in their DM in a very organic way. And then after few weeks maybe or few days, you can just go ahead and ask them, hey, I tried this product, I really loved it. What do you suggest we do a brand collaboration? So you might be a consumer of this product already and you already have it in your house, and then you can tell them that, hey, I already have this product, I really loved it, would you like me to create some content out of it for free and I can share it with you? This way you are not even asking them to send a product, but as always you can always get more from the brand. So yes, you can also approach the brand and tell them that, hey, I use this product already and I think your product line is very unique, would you like me to create some content with some new products you send? And then usually the brands are going to reply to you, well, how does this work, can you explain it to me? So you explain the procedure, you tell them that, hey, you can send me a product and I will create a content for you. I will not be charging you for any content because you will be sending me the product for free. Please make sure that you are very direct with the brand and you are communicating properly. You need to be communicate you need to communicate exactly what you're looking for so that the brand doesn't get confused. The brand should know that they are going to send you the product for free. I have received questions from people about shipping charges, and that is not true. You do not need to pay any shipping charges to any brand. And if any brand is asking you for shipping charges or product charges, that is not a barter collaboration happening. That is a win loss situation where the win is on the brand side, the loss is on your side. Okay, so please avoid these kind of scammy brands. Now, we are going to talk about the next step where the brand accepts your deal and the brand is like, okay, sure, we are going to do that. Always give your address to the brand, correct address with your mobile number. And if you are thinking that the brand might be sketchy, you can provide someone else's address and contact number who you might think is a more reliable person or something. And it's okay to give your spare phone number so that even if the brand turns out to be sketchy, you don't have your actual number out there, but make sure it's correct so that the brand can send their products properly. Also, something to keep in mind, this might take weeks because the brands usually work slow, so by the time you're reaching out, by the time the product is arriving, it might be weeks. Now the next thing that the brand will ask you is how long you will take. Try to give yourself a good window so that the brand doesn't get disappointed. Don't go ahead and say something like 2 or 3 days, because you cannot create a video of good quality in 2 or 3 days by not exerting yourself too much. So don't get exhausted or don't ruin the video creation process. A good content takes time, and make sure you're taking that time to create that content and giving them best of what you have. Okay, so the next thing that I want you to keep in mind is that when the brands ask you what deliverables you will be giving them, make sure you're clear about that. So if you're good in reels, communicate it to them and tell them that, hey, I am only good with these kind of reels, and if you're okay with that, we can go ahead. Be okay with getting rejected by brands if the vibe doesn't match, because if the brand is looking for stop motion video and you don't know how to make stop motion video, don't exhaust yourself by learning every new thing that a brand wants. Sometimes the brand's vibe and your vibe just doesn't match, and it's okay. So moving on to all of these, the brand will finally say yes to you, and then you have your product, you get your product. Now the next step is to deliver the content, right? So make sure that improve your techniques if possible. um, I don't mean to say learn new technique completely, but try to improve your editing, try to improve your content style, try to invest in props that will make the video much more better, right? So if a brand is expecting you to give 100%, you need to always give your 150%. You know why? Because if the brand sees you are giving them good quality content, there are high chances that the brand is going to reach out to you again, and this time maybe they are going to pay you. So always make sure that you're giving your best in all the videos and you're sending out perfect content to them. Now, how to send content? I have gotten a lot of questions about this as well, on how to send the content to the brand. Now, the easiest way to send them the content is by emailing them, or you can give them a Google Drive link through which they can access the content. Now that we are all wrapped up with that, I'm going to give you few actionable steps which you can use to get yourself your next barter collaborations in a week probably, or maybe a month. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is list out all the brands that match your videography vibe or your vibe of creating content, and they should be small brands, not too big, but small nice brands that you really like. You should really love the product so that you like working with it. Don't force yourself to like a product, okay? The next step is going to be reaching out to those brands. The third step is going to be following up with those brands. Sometimes the brands are busy, so you need to follow up. The fourth step is going to be finally negotiating and communicating all the deliverables and everything and the timeline, so that you guys are both clear on both sides. Now the next step is going to be filming the content and sending it to them, and the sixth step is going to be adding it in your portfolio. Do not forget to add that to your portfolio, so that once you're reaching out to brands which are going to pay to you, you have something legit in your portfolio, and you can say that I have worked with this brand and I'm experienced, and that's why you should be hiring me. I hope this video was helpful and it answered all your questions about barter collaborations. But if you are tired of doing barter collaborations and not getting paid as a UGC creator, you might want to check out my course. It's linked in the description and it's also linked in my bio. I teach you UGC, especially to all the beginners in India, and I help you land a paid UGC deal. If that sounds good to you, you might check it out. As always, subscribe for more, and bye.